I'm going to talk about things which trouble us, trouble me. I'm an economist and I have a degree in history as well. My PhD is in history. I've got some degrees in economics. I look at data, I look at facts, I look at numbers, I look at trends. And the news is very bad. And I'm going to say that it's very bad. I'm not going to say things are good. I'm not going to say that we are going to be a superpower in 75 years. We'll talk about that. But things are really bad. And I think it's important to understand why, how, and where they are bad. 2 months ago, 30 million people were displaced due to amongst the worst floods that took place in Pakistan. Nobody talks about it. Nobody. Forget about television, social media. It doesn't exist. People are dead. They've been moved away. They've lived in different places. हम भूल गए. कितने अफसोस की बात है. क्या हम कौन हैं, क्या हैं, हम अपने आप को किस तरह देखें? How should we think about ourselves? This is the story of decline. It shows that, real things don't matter. And as an economist, I'm going to quote some figures in front of you, and they are just amazing in what they reveal. Pakistan has slipped in its Human Development Index. We used to be number 154, now we are 166 or 167 out of 189 countries. Countries are progressing, we are decaying. It's not decline, it's decay. It's serious decline. We are going down the drain. And we need to think about that. We need to acknowledge that. Before we say कि हम बहुत बड़ी चीज़ बनने वाले हैं और बन जाएंगे. And I think someone once mentioned that we are also a nuclear power. And look at our numbers. Human Development Index, हम नीचे आते जा रहे हैं. Bangladesh and Nepal are far better than us in terms of the human development. Life expectancy, we are the lowest in South Asia in life expectancy. We are the lowest in terms of education. ये हुआ है और ये चंद सालों में हुआ है. In 1990, our Human Development Index was much better than Bangladesh and Nepal. Today, Bangladesh and Nepal are even higher, much better than Pakistan. Something has gone wrong. I mean, it's not that Nepal has done well or Bangladesh has done well. They have. But it's that we've done badly. And I think that's what matters. We need to think about that. We need to consider that. And one thing that we've been very good at is produce babies. We are amongst those countries which have the highest population growth rates. हम सिर्फ बच्चे पैदा करते हैं. हम तालीम याफ्ता लोग नहीं पैदा करते, हम न्यूक्लियर साइंटिस्ट नहीं पैदा करते, उनको तो कर ही नहीं सकते. हम जो है बस सिर्फ बच्चे पैदा करें, ये कर रहे हैं. और इसमें हम आगे हैं. बाकी चीज़ों में हम पीछे जा रहे हैं. इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, आप देख लें सारे ममालिक हमारे आसपास. The basket case of the world in 1971 is today being talked about the next China, Bangladesh. People are saying that's the next China. And for Pakistan, they're saying you're the next Afghanistan, you're the next Sudan, you're the next some other country which people can't even find on the map. That's what we've become. And I think the most striking statistic, the most striking figure, which shocks me the most, hurts me the most, is that in gender parity, we are the second worst country in the world as far as women are concerned. Gender parity. We are the second worst country in the world. Who wants a nuclear weapon when our women are treated the way they are? Who wants a nuclear weapon? Who wants to talk about things that many of my colleagues and others who talk very positively about Pakistan, where women are treated the way they are in this country? And we have some fantastic women. Two who spoke here. One, the only Oscar winner, double Oscar winner from Pakistan is a woman. There's a young woman who happens to be here. There's a young woman who won the Nobel Prize, and we don't allow her to come to Pakistan. This is a country where, this is how we treat our women. And these are super important, powerful women, an Oscar winner, a Nobel Prize winner. But, and there are so many other women as well who are treated extremely badly by us, husbands, fathers, brothers. We are responsible for that. Forget about what the government does. Not interested. They can't do very much. It's how our society has looked at women, how it's identified women, how it's commodified women. Every single day you read about what's happening to women in this country, right? So of course there are success stories. Karishma is one, Sharmeen's other. There are many, many, many more who belong to very different backgrounds. So that's where we've been. In economics, there's something, some of my students are here, in economics there's something called path dependence. that, where you come from, you go to the future, you go ahead, you look ahead based on your resources, where you've come from. I think that has to stop. We have to change looking back. We have to change where we've been. So there are two areas which I think our future exists. If we want to be anywhere on the map in 75 years, not the basket case which people are talking about in the year 2100, there's the most important thing that this country can do, and there's only one solution, and that is women. The only future that Pakistan has is a future for women in Pakistan. We men are useless. I say that about myself and my students as well. It's women who are the future. Men have to get out of the way for women to go forward. No country, Bangladesh is a very good example. One reason why Bangladesh has progressed so much, why Turkey, Indonesia, Malaysia, and these are Muslim countries, because people like to think, यार वो तो उनका मजहब कुछ और है, अच्छा ठीक है हमारा मजहब भी वही है, उस पर बात करते हैं. Muslim countries, women get education, they get rights, they get protection. और जितना आप रोकेंगे उतना आप पीछे जाएंगे. हर औरत को और उसके साथ जो मर्द साथ खड़ा होता है उसको हमें आगे लेके जाना चाहिए. हमारा मुस्तकबिल, पाकिस्तान का मुस्तकबिल, मर्दों का मुस्तकबिल इस बात से है कि हमारी औरतें आगे जाएं, हमारी औरतें पढ़ें, हमारी औरतें लीडर्स बने, आगे जाएं. ये उनको ना रोकें. ये मैं सारे मर्दों से कह रहा हूँ, आप ना रोकें. एक तो आप रोक नहीं सकते, वो आप लोग वैसे ही आगे निकल जाएंगे, आप देखते रह जाएंगे. और अगर आप रोकने की कोशिश करें, आप मुल्क को तबाह कर रहे हैं, अगली नस्लों को तबाह कर रहे हैं, और हमारे पूरा जो 75 साल क्या, हम अगले 10 साल नहीं आगे जा सकते. तो ये पहली बात. दूसरी बात, हमारे पड़ोसी जो है वो हमारे पड़ोसी रहेंगे, हम भी कहीं नहीं जा रहे. ठीक है, ये मुल्क कहीं नहीं जा रहा, लोग तो जाते रहते हैं. अच्छा, ये मुल्क कहीं नहीं जा रहा, हमारे पड़ोसी कहीं नहीं जा रहे. अगर हमने इनके साथ दोस्ती नहीं की, चाहे वो मोदी हो, चाहे वो हिंदुस्तान हो, चाहे वो ईरान हो, चाहे वो कोई मुल्क हो, आपने उसके साथ मिलकर रहना. आपका यू कैन नॉट चेंज योर नेबरहुड. You can move to another country, but you can't change your neighborhood. This is the neighborhood that we've had for 75 years. It's the neighborhood that we're going to have for many decades forward, ahead. India is not going anywhere. India, this is something that people forget. The highest growth rate in terms of economic growth rate and GDP growth rate in the next 2 years is going to be India, not China. And we don't talk to India. हमारे दुश्मन है, पता नहीं क्यों दुश्मन है. क्रिकेट नहीं खेल सकते, रमीज राजा बैठे. मैं तो कहता हूँ बाकी सबको क्रिकेट मैच पाकिस्तान और इंडिया में खिला दें, मैं तो आधे हमारे मसाइल खत्म हो जाएंगे. India is amongst those countries. Of course, it's got problems. I'm not going to say that I don't want to see Pakistan become like India. But India is a country with which we need to work with, we need to learn from, and we need to, integrate with in an economic sense and move forward. Iran, we can't even talk to Iran. Forget about Russia से तेल लेंगे, ईरान के पास तेल है, वो तो हम ले नहीं सकते. और मुल्क ले लेते, हम नहीं ले सकते, क्योंकि हमारे ऊपर कर्जे इतने हैं कि जो कर्जे देने वाला है वो कहता है कि नहीं, आप ईरान से तो बात नहीं कर सकते, आप सीपेक तो बना नहीं सकते, आप तो ये नहीं कर सकते, आप तो वो कहेंगे जो हमें करना है. चाहे वो IMF हो, चाहे वो सऊदी अरब हो, चाहे वो अमेरिका हो. वो मुल्क जो मोहताज है, पाकिस्तान, वो मुल्क जो मोहताज है, सॉवरेनिटी की बात नहीं कर सकता, आज़ादी की बात नहीं कर सकता. ये सब झूठ है. ये आप टीवी पे देखते रहे, हम आज़ाद हैं, 14 अगस्त और 23 मार्च वगैरह वगैरह, हम कोई आज़ाद नहीं. आई एम एन इकोनॉमिस्ट. I'm ashamed of the extent of our debt that we have, how every single child owes, both domestically and internationally. So that's something so what is the way forward? The way forward is China is highly dependent on a country that they don't even recognize, Taiwan. They deal with Taiwan, they trade with Taiwan, they expect their chips, electronic chips to come from Taiwan. वो कहते हैं हम चाइना हमारा, ताइवान हमारा, हम कब्जा कर लेंगे, बॉम्ब कर देंगे, फला कर देंगे. तिजारत के बगैर वो नहीं चलते. दुश्मन जो होते, every single country, wherever they are, they talk with their neighbors, they work with their neighbors. There is a regional economic integration of some sort or the other, whether it's European Union. The biggest mistake the United Kingdom has made is to leave Europe. I mean, they suffer, and they're going to suffer even more. This is not the time for jingoism. This is not a time for nationalism of the kind which leaves you alone. This is a time to talk to your neighbors. This is a time to put back. ये 75 साल पहले ये लाइन बनी थी, अभी तक हम उससे आगे नहीं बढ़े. ठीक है, ये जो इंडिया और पाकिस्तान की जो बाउंड्री, हम बात नहीं करते, खेलते नहीं, फिल्में नहीं आती उनकी. और ये जैसे गयास कह रहे थे और शर्मीन कह रही थी, हम कहाँ रह गए, हम पीछे रहते जा रहे हैं. So we have to think about where we are not going, the country is not going to move, individuals can. We have to think about working with those countries. We don't like their leaders. I don't like leaders in many countries. But you have to deal with economics, you have to deal with people, you have to deal with progress, you have to learn from them. You don't have to follow them, you don't have to copy everything, but you can learn from every single country. And if you can work with countries in the neighborhood, that's it. So, just 2 points and I'll end. Women. Without women, Pakistan has no future. Forget about where we are, who we are. Without women. Women have to come first in every single thing that they do. All of us, men, who stop them, have to get out of the way. We have to step aside. We have to promote women. In arts, in cricket, in football, in culture, in government, in education, in educational institutions, everywhere. And second, we can't diss our neighbors all the time. It's been 75 years. It's time, if you want to celebrate the 76th and 176th birthday of Pakistan, we better get our act together. Thank you very much.